Hey guys, hope everything's going well. We're going to move into chapter 20 now, and I'm going to teach you something about graphing the quadratic functions that we've been doing. So I'll do a little work on the whiteboard, then I have a video for you, and then you'll do some problems. I hope all is well. Okay, we're going to start with graphing quadratic functions in standard form. The first equation that I'm going to do with you, first function is y equals x squared plus 4x plus 3. So first we need a little background information. You can see that we'll take a step backwards and go to this middle line. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c is standard form. Well, now in this case, if we use this equation, our a is 1, our b is 4, and our constant c is 3. And I'm going to show you why we need to know that. So anyway, a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 4. Our equation that we use to find the line of symmetry is negative, and we have a fraction, b over 2a. And in this case, that means negative 4 over 2 times 1, which is negative 4 over 2, and that is negative 2. So that's going to be our line of symmetry. So now here's our negative 2, and when we look for the line of symmetry, we go 1, 2 to the left of the y-axis, and we can put a dotted line out on that, and that's going to be the middle of our parabola. There'll be symmetry on either side of this line. Now we need to find the vertex. Okay, so you can see the dotted line now. That's our line of symmetry, but we do need to find the vertex. So we take this negative 2 that we have, and that vertex obviously is going to lie on the line of symmetry, and we put that into our t-bar here, and when we take negative 2 and square it, we get 4, plus 4 times negative 2 is negative 8, plus 3 equals negative 1. So that's going to be our vertex. That's our minimum point, negative 2, negative 1. Now we want to pick 2 more points close to the vertex. So we pick negative 1 and we pick 0, and we plug them into the equation, and negative 1 squared minus 4 plus 3 is 0. And then we put 0 into the equation, and we get 3. Now, you could go and plot points on the other side just by using this line of symmetry right now. So if we're 1 space on the right side away from the line of symmetry, we will have a symmetrical point 1 space away on this side. So that actually would be at negative 3, 0. Okay, and then the next point is 2 away, so we would put 1, 2 away on this side, and then you could see our graph, and we've graphed our function.
Equals 0. I want to solve it by making a graph. So let's see if we can make a graph of this. And what we're actually graphing is the function y equals negative x squared plus 4. And what I want to do is I want to find the x-intercepts. I want to find the zeros of this function which correspond to this. So first let's graph this. Okay, so what's the axis of symmetry? It's negative b over 2a. In this question, b is actually 0 because we have 0 times x. There's no x term in there. And so we see that we have x equals 0 is the axis of symmetry, also known as the y-axis. The y-axis is the axis of symmetry. Okay. And what's the vertex? Well, the vertex will be at 0, comma, and I plug in when x equals 0 into here, and I see 4. And so I see that at 0, we're at 4, that's the highest point. I also see this as a negative, so I know that's going to be a sad face parabola, opening downward. In fact, if you look at it, it's just the usual standard parabola, but flipped down and shifted up 4. So in fact, we know exactly what it's going to look like. Let's just pick some points here. I'm going to pick, let's say, 1 for x, and let's pick 2 for x. If I pick 1 for x and plug it in, I see negative 1 plus 4, that's going to be 3. If I put 2 in here, I see negative 2 squared, that's negative 4 plus 4 is 0. Okay, so those points, 1 comma 3 and 2 comma 0, and then I look at the reflected points, because I have this axis of symmetry, and now I can draw the standard parabola that's been flipped over and shifted up. There, we've got it. And what do I see? Well, what I see is, looking at this picture, I can now see if I can predict the zeros, which would be the solution to this. Looks like they cross right at x equals negative 2 and x equals 2. And we can actually check this now by plugging in C. If I plug in 2 into here, 2 squared is 4, and so I have negative 4 plus 4 is 0. When I plug in negative 2 squared is 4, negative 4 plus 4 is 0. It actually checks. Neat, so you can graph it. In fact, if you're really high-tech, you don't even have to graph them by hand. You can actually use a graphing calculator to actually see the graph.
All right, guys, well, that gives you 2 videos, the one that I made and the one that came from the good doctor from our book. What I would say is go through those and then try the problems that'll be on Google Forms. If you have an issue on Google Forms, instead of doing the problems incorrectly, go back and look at the videos again. There's not really on Khan Academy, there's not anything consistent with this particular section. But if you want to look at your book, we're at section 20-1. And hopefully you have a good experience with this section. We'll be back again tomorrow. Have a great day. See ya.